The stars had never seemed so quiet. In the dark expanse beyond the solar system, the small alien colony of Cariel 9 struggled to survive. The planet had once been full of life, with gleaming cities and rivers of blue that sparkled under twin suns. But now the cities were silent and the rivers were dry. The energy core that powered the colony had been damaged by a massive cosmic storm, and without it, the Carelians faced extinction. Among them, Elira, a silver-skinned scientist, moved carefully through the ruins of her laboratory. Her light flickered weakly, a sign that her life energy was fading. She had tried everything to fix the core, but the damage was too great. Alone, she sent a desperate message into space, a universal distress signal meant to reach every corner of the galaxy. She hoped the powerful Zothari Union would hear it and come to help. Days passed. Weeks passed. The message went unanswered. The Carelians had once believed in the promises of the Zothari, that they would protect smaller species when danger came. Now Elira realized the truth. The Union had abandoned them. Far from Cariel 9, on Earth, a small observatory in Nevada received a strange signal. It was faint, buried in static, but Dr. Laura Bennett, a calm and focused scientist, noticed it immediately. Laura worked late into the night, surrounded by blinking machines and humming servers. She leaned forward, listening carefully to the repeated pattern of beeps and pulses. "This isn't random," she said quietly. "Someone is trying to communicate." Next to her, Captain Ethan Cole, an Air Force officer assigned to the observatory for technical support, watched the monitors. Ethan was tall, with dark hair and a steady expression. He had seen strange signals before, but this one was different. It had a rhythm almost like a heartbeat. Laura smiled faintly. "It's a distress call," she said, "and it's coming from outside our galaxy." Ethan frowned. "Outside the galaxy? That's impossible." Laura shook her head. "Not impossible. Unlikely, yes, but the signal is real. Someone is asking for help and we can decode it." They worked together through the night, translating the signal into words and numbers. It was a message of desperation. The sender's planet was dying, their energy core destroyed, and their species on the brink of extinction. They pleaded for help. Laura turned to Ethan. "No one else is responding. Not their allies. Not anyone in nearby systems. We might be the only ones who can help." Ethan ran a hand through his hair. "We should forward this to the United Nations, to NASA, to every major space agency. Let them decide what to do." Laura frowned. "By the time they decide, it might be too late. If we wait for bureaucracy, these people will die." Ethan looked out of the observatory window at the desert below. The stars were bright and still. "So what do you suggest?" he asked. Laura's eyes were steady. "We go. We answer the call ourselves." It was a dangerous idea. Earth had only recently developed the first long-range exploratory vessel capable of interstellar travel, the ESV Horizon. No ship had ever gone beyond the solar system, and no human had faced the dangers of deep space on such a mission. But the thought of turning away from someone in need felt impossible to her. Ethan thought about it. He remembered the faces of his younger siblings and how helpless he had felt when they were in danger. He understood the weight of responsibility. Finally, he nodded. "All right, we try. We answer. But we have to convince the mission director to let us go. Otherwise, we'll be going on our own." Laura picked up the communicator and called the Earth Space Coalition, a newly formed organization that oversaw the horizon. Their director, Captain Helen Morrison, answered. She was strict and cautious, the kind of leader who weighed every decision carefully. "Captain Morrison," Laura said, "we have a distress call. It's coming from outside our galaxy. The planet is dying and no one else is responding. We need permission to launch a rescue mission." There was a pause. Helen's voice came back firm and steady. "Outside the galaxy? That's highly risky, Dr. Bennett. The horizon is not fully tested for such distances. You realize the dangers?" "Yes," Laura said, "but someone needs to go. The Carelians are running out of time." Helen sighed. "I will consider it, but protocol requires a council decision." Ethan leaned closer to Laura. That could take months. They might be gone by then. Laura looked at him, her jaw set. Then we persuade them. We don't have a choice. After hours of discussion, the council agreed to allow the Horizon to attempt a rescue. They would go, even if it meant bending some rules. It was humanity's first real test beyond the safety of the solar system, and the weight of it pressed heavily on the crew. The Horizon's crew gathered in the docking bay. Marcus Lee, a brilliant engineer with quick hands and a calm mind, checked the ship's systems. Dana Brooks, the navigator, studied star charts and jump coordinates. Ryan Carter, the medic, prepared emergency supplies and medical kits. Each member understood the risks. None had traveled so far, yet all shared the same belief. Someone needed help, and they were the ones to provide it. Ethan addressed the crew. We are leaving everything familiar behind. We don't know what we will face, but we know one thing. We cannot leave anyone to die when we can help. Earth answered the call, and we will see it through. Laura felt a thrill of hope and fear. This is why we became explorers, she said quietly. Not for glory, not for power, but to do what is right when others cannot or will not. The Horizon lifted from the lunar dock with a powerful roar, engines glowing as they pierced through the thin lunar atmosphere. The Earth grew smaller behind them, a blue jewel in the vast black. For a moment, the crew felt both awe and loneliness. Days turned into weeks as they traveled through the void. The jump drive technology carried them across distances no human had ever crossed. Every jump was a risk. Every course plotted had to be perfect, or the Horizon could be lost forever. During one jump, the ship shook violently. Sparks flew from the consoles and alarms blared. Marcus and Dana worked together to stabilize the engines. "We're losing power," Marcus shouted, hands flying over the controls. Ethan grabbed a strap and held himself steady. "Keep her steady, we can't fail now." Finally, the ship stabilized and the alarms ceased. The crew collapsed into their chairs, exhausted. Laura whispered, "This is just the beginning. We haven't even reached the planet yet." As they approached the coordinates from the distress signal, the signal itself grew weaker. It was a whisper compared to the strong pulse they had first detected. Laura frowned. "They're fading. If we don't reach them soon, they might not be there at all." Dana adjusted the navigation. "We'll get there. We have to." Ryan moved through the ship, checking the crew. "We can do this. We have to do this." For the first time in weeks, the crew felt the weight of their mission pressing not as fear, but as determination. Somewhere out there, on a distant, dying world, a species was waiting for help. They were alone, scared, and running out of time. And Earth had answered. Ethan looked out at the stars. "If no one else comes, it's up to us. And I don't intend to fail." Laura smiled, a quiet warmth in the cold of space. "Then let's show them what humans can do when someone calls for help." And with that, the Horizon continued its journey, leaving behind everything familiar, heading into the unknown, driven not by conquest or curiosity alone, but by a single, unshakable human truth. When someone needs help, you answer. The stars stretched on endlessly, silent witnesses to the courage of a small crew from Earth, daring to cross the galaxy to save a civilization that had never known them, a civilization whose hope now rested entirely on the humans who had heard their call. The Horizon glided through space, silent and powerful. The stars stretched endlessly on all sides, cold and distant, yet full of secrets. Inside the ship, the crew worked tirelessly, monitoring the instruments and adjusting the navigation. They had left Earth far behind, passing through the quiet void between galaxies. Every light on the control panels was a reminder that they were far from home, and far from anyone who could help if something went wrong. Dana Brooks, the navigator, sat before a display of stars and coordinates. Her hands moved with confidence, though a small tremor of tension ran through her fingers. "We've crossed 3 jumps today," she said. "The signal is still weak, but it's coming from the same direction." Marcus Lee, the engineer, wiped sweat from his forehead. "The drives are holding, but we're pushing the jump engines harder than ever. Another jump like the last could damage them permanently. Ethan Cole, leaning against the control console, studied the data silently. We don't have a choice. Every second counts. They're counting on us. Laura Bennett stepped beside him, her tablet in hand. The signal is changing, it's weaker, and the pattern is less organized. They're running out of energy, maybe even hope. She paused, looking out the viewport at the dark stars. We have to get there before it's too late. Ryan. Carter, the medic, moved down the narrow corridor, checking the crew for signs of fatigue. Everyone stay sharp. We can't afford mistakes. Not now. For days they traveled in silence, interrupted only by the soft hum of the ship and the occasional alarm when minor systems flickered. Outside, space was a dark ocean, broken only by distant stars and drifting cosmic dust. Inside, the crew felt both isolation and responsibility. They were the first humans to reach this far beyond the solar system. They carried not only hope for the Karelians, but the pride of a species that had chosen to answer a call no one else had. On the 5th day, as they prepared for another jump, the horizon shook violently. The jump drive emitted an alarming hum, louder than usual. Sparks flew from the console panels and warning lights flashed red. "Brace for turbulence!" Ethan shouted. The ship lurched, throwing the crew against their restraints. Dana gripped her chair, her knuckles white. "The drive is unstable. We might be thrown off course." Marcus worked furiously, typing commands into the console. "I can stabilize it, but it's risky. One wrong move and we could be lost in the void forever." Laura held on to the railing. "Do it. We don't have time to wait." Marcus took a deep breath and pressed the override. The hum of the engine rose to a shrill pitch, then dropped suddenly as the system stabilized. The horizon shuddered once more before gliding smoothly again. Ethan let out a long breath. That was too close. Dana shook her head. "Space is not friendly. Not here. Not anywhere near this far." Laura studied the screen. "The signal is still there. Faint, yes, but it's holding. They're still alive." As they continued, the horizon entered a region of space that had been marked on old star maps as void zones. These were empty stretches, dark and filled with ancient debris, remnants of civilizations that had vanished long ago. Laura and Dana noticed twisted metal and fragments of ships drifting silently, some with signs of strange alien technology. Ethan frowned. "What happened here?" Laura shook her head. "These ships may have tried to answer the same call. Maybe others have tried and failed." Marcus leaned over a console, scanning the debris. "Some of these ships are thousands of years old. Others are newer but damaged. Whoever was here before didn't make it." The sight was unsettling. Silence fell over the crew as the horizon drifted through the wreckage. Each piece of metal told a story of failure, of hope lost in the vastness of space. Yet the humans pressed on, their resolve stronger than the fear surrounding them. On the 7th day, the horizon approached the outer edge of Karel Nonvi's system. The distress signal was faint now, almost like a whisper, but it still guided them. Laura studied the readings. The planet is still sending a signal. They're alive, but barely. Ethan turned to the crew. "We're close. Prepare for descent. This is where it gets dangerous." Marcus nodded. "The jump drive is holding, but I don't like what I see in the energy readings. The radiation around the planet is high. We'll need careful navigation to avoid damage." Dana set the coordinates for the first approach. "I can guide us through the storm clouds near the planet's upper atmosphere, but it's tricky. One mistake and we could be torn apart before we land." Ryan checked the medkits. "Everyone strap in. This is going to be rough." As the horizon descended toward Karel 9, the crew saw a planet half buried in darkness. Storms raged across its surface, sending lightning and plasma arcs into the sky. The cities below were dim, some flickering weakly with failing energy grids. The once beautiful rivers were now ash-colored, the land scorched and broken. Laura's breath caught. "They've suffered so much." Ethan put a hand on her shoulder. "And they need us. That's what matters now." The horizon entered the upper atmosphere, buffeted by strong winds of plasma and radiation. The ship groaned under the strain, but Marcus kept the engines steady. We can make it just a little further. Below them, the planet's surface was a maze of collapsed buildings and darkened streets. Occasionally, flickers of light indicated survivors moving through the ruins, seeking shelter. The crew caught glimpses of the Karelians, tall, silver-skinned beings with faintly glowing eyes. They moved slowly, weakened by the lack of energy and resources. Laura's heart ached. We can save them. We have to. Ethan nodded. We will. We came all this way for a reason. No one else answered. We will. Finally, the horizon touched down in a clearing outside the largest remaining city. The ground shook slightly, but the ship remained stable. The crew unstrapped and gathered their equipment. Laura checked her scanner. The energy core is still there. It's badly damaged but not gone. If we can reach it, we might be able to stabilize it temporarily. Marcus looked at the readings. There's something else, a strange signal around the core. It's interfering with our instruments. Dana frowned. Could it be automated defense systems? Or something left behind? Ethan tightened his grip on his communicator. Whatever it is, we'll deal with it. Let's move. They're waiting. As they moved toward the city, the Karelians watched from a distance. Weak, trembling, but aware of the ship and its human crew. Elira, the scientist who had sent the distress call, emerged from the shadows. Her light flickered dimly, and she fell to her knees as she approached. Laura knelt beside her. We heard your call. We're here to help. Elira's eyes widened, and for the first time in weeks, she smiled. No one else came. I thought we were alone. Ethan stepped forward. You're not alone anymore. We won't leave you. The crew began their work immediately. Marcus and Dana set up equipment to stabilize the energy core, while Ryan attended to the weakened Karelians. Laura coordinated communications, and Ethan scouted the area for any immediate dangers. As they worked, the strange interference continued. Pulses of energy from above the planet disrupted their instruments, sending sparks across the consoles. Marcus gritted his teeth. Whatever is up there, it doesn't want us here. Dana studied the readings. It's artificial. Someone put it there deliberately. Laura looked at Ethan. The Zothari abandoned them. Could this be one of their satellites? Ethan nodded. Possibly. But we don't have time to think about politics. We need to save these people now. Night fell on Karel 9, but the horizon's lights illuminated the surrounding area. The crew worked tirelessly, moving with precision and determination. Outside, the storms raged, but the humans pressed on, guided by hope and resolve. Laura glanced at Elira. We'll get your people through this, one step at a time. Elira nodded weakly. I have not dared to hope, not for a long time. Ethan's voice was firm. Then hope again. Earth answered your call, and we're not leaving until you're safe. The first night on Karel 9 passed in tense silence. The humans slept little, checking instruments, repairing equipment, and preparing for the challenges ahead. The energy core flickered faintly, a sign that it could be saved, but only if they could overcome the interference above. Laura stood at the viewport, watching the dark planet below. They're alive, she whispered. And they will stay alive. We have to make sure of it. Ethan joined her. One planet, one people, one chance, and we're taking it. In the quiet of the horizon far from Earth, the crew felt the weight of their mission. They had answered a call no one else had. They had traveled further than any human had ever gone. And now, on a dying world, they faced the real test. Can humans save a civilization that had been abandoned by all others? The stars beyond Karel, eyes shimmered faintly as if watching, waiting for the answer. And the humans on the horizon were ready to give it. The horizon rested in the clearing, its lights casting long beams across the dark, scorched land. Outside, the storm clouds of Karel 9 shifted and crackled, painting the sky with orange and purple flashes. The humans stepped carefully onto the planet, their boots crunching on the ash-like soil. The air was thin, and radiation readings from the instruments made their skin tingle. Still, they moved forward, knowing every step counted. Elira, the Karelan scientist, guided them through the ruins. Her movements were slow and weak, but she carried a faint glow that seemed almost alive. She led them toward the heart of the largest city, pointing to a dark tower in the distance. "The energy core is inside," she said. "It is damaged but not destroyed. We may still save our people." Laura Bennett adjusted her tablet, scanning the readings from the core. "We can stabilize it temporarily, but the interference is strong. Something is above the city, blocking our attempts." Marcus Lee examined his equipment. "It's like a shield. Whatever it is, it's not natural. There's power there, but it's artificial." Ethan Cole clenched his fists. "Then we find it. We shut it down. Then we save them." As they approached the tower, the ground shook slightly. A low hum filled the air, vibrating through their feet. The humans stopped and looked around. Dana Brooks, the navigator, tapped her scanner. "It's coming from orbit. Something is circling the planet above the core. It's blocking energy flow." Elira's glowing eyes dimmed. "It is the Zothari device. They left it to prevent anyone from helping us. They abandoned our world long ago and wished it to die." Laura's jaw tightened. "Then we override it." "That's our mission." The team reached the base of the tower. Inside, corridors were dark and filled with debris. Sparks flew from damaged consoles, and walls had deep cracks from the storm's impact. Marcus and Dana set up portable stabilizers to monitor the energy core remotely. The readings were unstable, flickering between life and death. Ethan scanned the area. "No signs of other life so far. Keep your eyes open. We don't know what we might encounter." Ryan Carter moved alongside them, medkit in hand. "If anyone is inside, we need to help them. I expect casualties from the storms and the energy collapse." They reached a large chamber where the energy core had once pulsed with bright power. Now it was dim, flickering weakly like a dying flame. Wires hung from the walls, and panels had melted in the storm. The hum of the core was faint, interrupted by bursts of interference from the satellite above. Marcus examined the systems. "We can repair it, but the interference is constant. Any attempt to stabilize the core will fail until the device above is disabled." Elira's glow dimmed further. "The satellite is a Zothari trap. They feared our survival. They left it in orbit to finish what they started. If it remains, our people will die." Laura's hands tightened around the tablet. "Then we disable it. Whatever it takes." The Horizon crew prepared for an orbital mission. They suited up, checking oxygen and radiation shields. Ethan and Marcus would pilot the ship closer to the satellite, while Dana and Laura monitored from the ground. Ryan stayed behind to care for the Karelans, ready for injuries. As the Horizon rose back into orbit, the storm's fury seemed to intensify. Lightning danced across the sky, striking near the ship. Marcus kept the engines steady. "Just a little higher," he said. "The satellite is within range." Dana watched from the ground. "You'll need precision. The satellite has defenses. They're not alive, but they will attack anything that comes close." Ethan piloted the Horizon carefully. The satellite loomed above the planet, a dark structure with sharp edges surrounded by rotating energy shields. Automated drones patrolled the area, scanning for intruders. Laura tapped the controls. "The drones are responding. They're detecting your presence." Marcus worked at the console. "I can hack into the satellite's interface, but it's complex. If we make a mistake, the defenses will destroy us instantly." Ethan nodded. "Do it. We have no choice." As Marcus typed rapidly, drones moved closer, firing small energy pulses. The Horizon dodged, shaking from near hits. Sparks flew from the ship's hull and alarms blared. "Keep steady," Ethan shouted. "We're almost in range." Marcus paused. "Almost. Got it. Yes, I've breached the interface. But it's active. The satellite's AI is responding." A cold metallic voice filled the ship. "No interference allowed. All rescue attempts terminated. Contamination protocols active." Ethan's hands tightened on the controls. "Ignore it. We are humans. We are here to save lives, not to fight your rules." Marcus moved to override the AI completely. "I can shut it down manually, but it will take a few minutes. Keep the drones off me." The Horizon moved in a tight circle, dodging attacks while Marcus worked. Sweat ran down his face. "Almost there. Just a few more seconds." "Done." The AI went silent. The energy shields flickered and then collapsed. The drones powered down and fell inert. Ethan breathed heavily. "It's over. The satellite is offline." On the surface, Laura and Dana watched as the energy readings from the core began to improve slightly. "It's responding," Laura whispered. "The interference is gone." Marcus did it. Marcus and Ethan descended back to the ground. As they landed, Elira ran to them, her glow brighter than it had been in days. You saved us. You fought the device that even our allies abandoned us to. You humans. Thank you." Ethan shook his head. "We didn't come here to be thanked. We came to answer the call." "That's what humans do." Laura smiled faintly. "Let's focus on the core now. We can stabilize it temporarily, but it will need constant attention." Marcus and Dana set up portable energy stabilizers. The core began to pulse steadily, its light returning. Sparks danced across the floor as the energy flowed back into the city's systems. Slowly, lights flickered on across Kareel 9. Small buildings lit up and the first signs of life emerged from shelters. Elira's people watched in awe. Weak but determined, they began to move toward the humans. Children, elders, and adults came out from hiding, their faces filled with hope for the first time in years. Ryan moved among them, checking for injuries. "We'll get you all help." "You're safe now," Laura stepped forward. "We didn't come to conquer or to judge. We came to help. You are alive because someone answered your call." The Kareelans looked at the humans with a mix of wonder and disbelief. They had sent their plea to the stars, and now one species had truly responded. The warmth of hope spread among them, a feeling they had long forgotten. Ethan stood beside Laura. "We're not finished yet. The core is stable, but we need to rebuild, to make sure it stays that way. Your people can survive, but only if we help them now." Elira's glow strengthened. "We will follow your guidance. You have given us life again." As night fell on Kareel 9, the Horizon crew set up temporary shelters and began to plan repairs for the city's infrastructure. The storm had passed, but the skies were still charged with tension, as if the planet itself was cautious after years of neglect and abandonment. Laura looked at the horizon. "We've done the first step. We've given them hope, but we still have work to do. Their world is broken and we need to make it whole again." Marcus nodded. "The core is stable for now, but the satellite could have been only the first obstacle. Who knows what else the Zothari left behind?" Dana adjusted the navigation systems. "We'll be ready. No matter what, we came this far. We can't stop now." Ethan put a hand on Laura's shoulder. Earth answered their call. "That's enough to start. Now we show them what humans can do when no one else will." The Kareelans gathered around the horizon, their eyes reflecting the human lights. For the first time in years, they smiled, weak but real. They had survived the storm, the interference, and the abandonment. They were alive because someone cared enough to cross the stars and fight for them. The Horizon crew rested briefly, knowing the next steps would be even harder. The city needed rebuilding, the energy core needed protection, and the planet itself was fragile. But for now there was a quiet victory. Humanity had shown its courage, its resolve, and its willingness to risk everything to save a life, even when no one else would. Elira whispered to Laura, her glow soft but steady. "You have done what others could not. You have given us life again." Laura smiled, exhausted but determined. "We did what was right. That's all humans ever try to do." Above them, the stars stretched endlessly. Somewhere far beyond, the Zothari might be watching, but it did not matter. The humans had answered the call. The Kareelans were alive, and Earth had proven that when help was needed, it would not turn away. And in that moment, on a broken planet at the edge of the galaxy, hope returned for the first time in decades. The storm had passed over Kareel 9, but danger still lingered. The sky was calmer, though streaks of residual plasma glowed across the horizon. The city, still damaged, flickered with returning power as the energy core stabilized. The humans and Kareelans worked together, moving supplies, repairing systems, and checking for injuries. For a moment, the planet felt alive again. But the crew of the Horizon knew the satellite had not been the only threat. Far above in orbit, other defenses could still be waiting. Automated systems left by the Zothari might reactivate or have backup mechanisms. The humans had little time before the next danger appeared. Marcus Lee inspected the ship, making sure engines and shields were fully functional. "The horizon is stable, but the orbital sensors show unusual readings. Something is moving near the upper layers of the atmosphere," he said. Dana Brooks leaned over the console. "It looks like drones. Not many, but they are fast and armed. They might be remnants of the Zothari's defense systems." Ethan Cole's expression hardened. "Then we deal with them before they attack the city." Prepare for orbital engagement. Laura Bennett studied the readings. We should minimize risk to the planet. If those drones fire at us near the surface, it could destroy the core or harm the Karelians. Ryan Carter checked medkits. Everyone stay alert. We might have injuries. Keep the crew ready. The horizon rose again, engines glowing as they pierced the upper atmosphere. The drones appeared quickly, scanning and firing energy pulses. The horizon's shields absorbed most of the impact, but sparks danced along the hull and alarms blared. Ethan took control, moving the ship with precision. Drones on our right. Marcus, deploy countermeasures. Marcus activated small energy bursts from the ship, creating temporary shields and decoys. Some drones fired blindly, missing the ship by meters. Sparks flew from drone hulls as their weapons misfired. Dana adjusted navigation. They're fast, but predictable. We can outmaneuver them. The horizon dodged through plasma arcs and radiation fields. Ethan shouted commands. Left, up, now! The ship responded, skidding through the energy storms like a bird weaving through branches. Below, the Karelians watched, their glowing eyes wide with fear. Elira stayed near the energy core, guiding her people to safer areas. Do not panic, she called. They are here to help. Trust them. Marcus worked at the console, sweat running down his forehead. I can hack into their control signal. If I succeed, they'll shut down. But the system is old and heavily protected. Ethan kept the horizon steady, dodging more energy pulses. Do it, Marcus. We don't have much time. After tense minutes, Marcus's fingers flew across the controls. Yes, I've accessed their mainframe. Drones are losing coordination. One by one, the drones powered down or crashed into the planet's surface harmlessly. Ethan exhaled. Good, that's done. Now we focus on the planet itself. Laura and Dana monitored energy flow to the core. The pulse interference is gone, Laura said. The core can now be stabilized fully. Marcus nodded. The city's systems can be restored. We have time to help the Karelians rebuild. The horizon descended slowly, landing carefully in the same clearing as before. The crew moved out, carrying portable equipment and tools to repair the city. Laura walked among the Karelians, checking the core's readings and monitoring energy distribution. Elira came forward, her glow brighter than before. Your people, you have risked so much for us. I do not know how to thank you. Ethan smiled faintly. You don't have to thank us. We answer calls like yours because it is right. That is enough. Marcus and Dana set up stabilizers around the city, slowly restoring lighting, water systems, and communications. Children peered out from shelters, curious and cautious. Adults helped wherever they could, moving debris and checking for survivors. The humans worked alongside them, showing patience and guidance. Suddenly, a deep vibration shook the ground. Laura's tablet beeped urgently. Something is moving in orbit again. It's not the drones this time. It's larger. Ethan's expression darkened. We're being watched. Possibly by another Zathari system. We can't ignore it. Marcus, get the horizon ready for emergency launch. Marcus moved quickly, powering up engines and reinforcing shields. Dana adjusted coordinates. If it attacks, we can pull it into orbit and neutralize it without endangering the city. Above, a massive satellite, larger than the first, appeared in orbit. Its surface gleamed with dark panels and energy fields surrounded it like a storm. It emitted pulses that caused tremors on the ground, making buildings sway. Laura analyzed the readings. This one is far more advanced. It's automated but powerful. If it fires at the city, it could destroy the core completely. Ethan nodded. Then we take it down. We can't let it harm anyone. The horizon lifted off just as the satellite fired a wide energy beam. Sparks and small explosions lit up the sky, and dust from the city below swirled in the wind. The crew tightened their grips as the ship shook violently. Marcus activated the ship's countermeasures, launching energy decoys and small pulses to disrupt the satellite's targeting. Dana maneuvered the ship through the beams, dodging with precision. Laura monitored the core. It's stable for now, but we can't let the city be caught in the blast. Keep it at a distance. Ethan's hands moved fast on the controls. I'll take us close, Marcus. You find a way to disable it. Marcus nodded. I'll try a manual override. We might only get one shot. The horizon approached the satellite carefully. Ethan guided the ship into position, skimming past rotating energy shields. Sparks flew from the hull as the satellite fired, but the horizon held steady. Marcus worked quickly, typing commands to hack the satellite's AI. The metallic voice echoed again. cold and mechanical. No interference allowed. Rescue attempts will fail. Contamination protocols active. Ethan shouted over the alarms. Ignore it. We are human. We save lives, not destroy them. Marcus's fingers flew across the console. Almost done. There. Override complete. The satellite's defenses collapsed. Energy fields flickered and died. Automated weapons shut down. The metallic voice went silent. Below, Elira and the Karelians watched as the sky cleared. For the first time in decades, the city felt safe. Sparks from damaged buildings still glowed, but the core's light bathed the area with warmth. The horizon descended carefully, landing in the clearing. The crew moved out quickly, bringing portable stabilizers and tools to the city. Laura checked the energy core. It's fully stabilized now. The city can rebuild safely. Elira approached Ethan. You have done what no one else could. You faced the satellites, the drones, even systems designed to destroy us. How can we ever repay you? Ethan shook his head. You don't need to repay us. You just need to survive and rebuild. That's enough. Marcus and Dana moved through the city, repairing damaged systems. Children and adults began to help, lifting debris and following instructions. Slowly, the city began to hum with life again. Lights flickered on and water flowed once more through damaged pipes. Ryan moved among the Karelians, tending to injuries and helping those who were weak. You're safe now, he said gently. Keep moving, keep working, and you'll recover. Laura walked beside Elira. Your people are strong. They've survived storms, abandonment, and fear. They will survive this too. Elira's eyes glowed brighter. With you, we have hope. For the first time in years, we feel hope. Ethan looked at the horizon, at the broken city slowly coming back to life. This is what we came for. This is what humans do. We answer when no one else will. As night fell, the Horizon crew rested briefly, but their minds were alert. The planet still had dangers, and the Zothari might have more systems to test them. But for now, they had achieved something remarkable. They had saved a civilization that had been abandoned, shown courage where others had failed, and brought hope back to a dying world. Above them, the stars twinkled, distant and silent witnesses to the courage of humans who crossed the galaxy to answer a call for help. On the ground, the Karelians began to rebuild their homes, their cities, and their lives. Laura whispered to Ethan, watching the glow of the city and the people moving safely below. We did it. They're alive. Ethan nodded, his expression calm but determined. And we'll stay until they're safe. Earth answered their call, and we don't leave until they're ready. In that quiet night, on a world that had known despair for too long, hope returned, and humans had shown clearly and without question that when help was needed, they would answer even when no one else would. The sun rose over Karel 9, casting soft orange light across the city. The once dark streets now glimmered with energy from the stabilized core. People moved among the ruins, lifting debris, rebuilding walls, and reconnecting systems. The humans watched with quiet pride. They had crossed a galaxy to save a civilization, and now they saw the results of their efforts. Elira walked among her people, her glow steady and bright. We are alive, she said softly, and we will continue to live because these humans came for us. Laura Bennett stepped beside her. Your people are strong. You survived storms, abandonment, and the collapse of your energy systems. With determination and care, you will rebuild. Marcus Lee checked the Horizon systems once more. Everything on the ship is ready, but we'll stay here for a while to ensure the city is safe. The core is stable, but it needs monitoring. Ethan Cole nodded. We'll make sure nothing else threatens this city. Then when it's safe, we'll return to Earth. Ryan Carter moved among the Karelians, tending to those still weak from illness and exhaustion. Rest now, he said gently. You have survived long enough to rebuild. Take the time to recover. As the humans walked through the city, they noticed small changes. Children played in the streets cautiously, laughing at simple games. Adults repaired machinery and rebuilt homes. Even small gardens began to grow, nurtured by returning water from the core. The city felt alive again, like a heartbeat returning after a long silence. Elira approached Laura. I cannot believe we have survived. We sent our call to the stars and no one answered. Except you. She smiled faintly. You gave us life again. Laura shook her head. We did not come to be heroes. We came because it was right. We answer calls for help. That is all humans do. Ethan stood near the city's energy hub, watching as Marcus and Dana adjusted the stabilizers. The Zathari devices are gone. No satellites, no drones, nothing left to harm the city. Your people are safe now. Illyra's glow brightened. Safe, yes, and alive. But what of the rest of the galaxy? Will others hear this story? Laura smiled. They will. You sent your call and we answered. Earth will continue to explore, to help, to be there when others cannot. Your survival proves that hope can exist, even when everyone else turns away. For the first time in years, the Karelians felt hope in their hearts. They had seen the stars reach back for them, and they had witnessed humans willing to risk everything for a species they had never met. The idea of trust returned, fragile but real. The Horizon crew continued their work. Marcus and Dana repaired broken conduits, rerouted power, and reinforced the city's defense systems. Laura helped Illyra coordinate energy flow to homes and public spaces. Ryan treated those still weak from illness or radiation exposure. Ethan oversaw operations, ensuring that nothing was missed. Days passed. Slowly, the city transformed. Buildings that had seemed beyond repair were reinforced. Streets cleared of rubble became walkways once more. Water and energy flowed through the city like lifeblood returning. Karelians worked alongside the humans, learning new methods to maintain their systems. One morning, Illyra called the crew together. The city is stable. Our people are stronger. We owe you everything. She looked at each human individually, her glow reflecting in their eyes. But our world is larger than this city. Many places are still damaged. You have saved the heart of our civilization, but there is more work to do. Ethan nodded. We came here to answer your call. Our mission is not just to save the city, but to ensure your people survive. But we cannot do it all alone. You will have to help rebuild the rest of your world. Marcus smiled. We'll teach you what we know. You are clever and resourceful. With your strength and our guidance, you can restore your planet, Dana added, and we can create tools and systems to make your work faster and safer. You are not alone anymore. Over the next weeks, the Horizon crew trained the Karelians in repairing energy systems, operating stabilizers, and maintaining infrastructure. Laura worked closely with Illyra to set up monitoring networks, ensuring that any future problems could be addressed quickly. Ryan taught basic medical techniques to Karelian volunteers. The Karelians were quick learners. They adapted to human technology, modifying it to fit their needs. Slowly, they began to regain confidence, their streets filled with movement and laughter. Children played games, adults shared stories of survival, and elders passed down wisdom that had helped them endure. One evening, as the twin suns of Karel set, painting the sky with deep purples and oranges, Illyra led the Horizon crew to the city's main plaza. The people had gathered, their glow bright and steady, a reflection of the hope they now carried. Illyra addressed the crowd. For many years we lived in fear. We believed the stars would not answer us. We were abandoned. But today we are alive because someone heard our call. Humans came across the galaxy to save us. They risked everything for our lives. The Karelians cheered, their voices echoing across the plaza. Illyra turned to the humans. You are our saviors, our teachers, and our friends. We will remember you forever. Laura smiled, her eyes shining. We did what any human would do. We answered when someone needed help. That is what defines us. Ethan looked at the crowd and spoke softly. Your people are strong. You have survived storms, interference, and abandonment. You will survive everything else. We are proud to have helped, but the future belongs to you now. The Horizon crew spent the next days finalizing preparations. They installed long-term stabilizers for the energy core and ensured that communication networks could operate independently. The city was ready to thrive on its own. Before leaving, Illyra approached Laura and Ethan. Your people gave us life again. But what about Earth? Will your world continue to answer calls like ours? Laura nodded. Earth will always answer. We have learned that the universe is vast and full of need. If someone calls for help, humans will try to respond. That is who we are. Ethan added. We cannot save every world, but we will answer when we can. That is what makes us different. That is what makes us human. The humans gathered for a final look at the city. Buildings were lit, streets were active, and the energy core pulsed steadily at the center. The people they had saved were alive, smiling and working together. Hope glowed brightly across the land. Illyra's eyes met theirs. Go in peace. You have done more than we could have imagined. You have changed our world forever." With a final farewell, the horizon lifted from Kareel 9. The city below grew smaller, but the glow of life and hope remained. The crew watched, proud of what they had accomplished. They had crossed the stars, faced dangers both natural and artificial, and proven that humanity would answer when others would not. As they traveled back to Earth, Laura reflected on the journey. "We answered a call from the edge of the galaxy. A species we did not know depended on us, and we made a difference," Marcus smiled. "It wasn't easy. We risked everything, but it was worth it." Dana added, "The universe is bigger than we imagined, but we have shown that humans can reach it and make it better." Ethan looked ahead at the dark expanse. "And we'll keep going. We'll answer more calls, help more people, because that is who we are. That is Earth's promise." Ryan leaned back, resting after the long mission. "We've done well. And the Kareelans, they're alive. That's all that matters." Days turned into weeks as the horizon approached the solar system. Earth grew larger on the viewports, a blue jewel among the stars. The crew thought about the Kareelans, their resilience, and their recovery. They had crossed unimaginable distances, faced dangers unknown, and proven that humans could bring hope where none existed. Finally, the horizon entered orbit around Earth. The crew felt a quiet pride. They had answered a call not for glory or reward, but because it was the right thing to do. And in doing so, they had shown the universe what humanity was capable of. Laura, Ethan, Marcus, Dana, and Ryan stood together, looking down at the planet below. "We went to the edge of the galaxy," Laura said softly, "and we brought life back to a dying world." Ethan nodded. "Earth answered the call, and we will continue to answer. No matter where the need is, no matter the danger, humans will reach out." The sun rose over Earth, a new day filled with promise. Somewhere far away on Kareel 9, a civilization thrived again because someone dared to cross the stars. Humanity's courage and compassion had bridged the galaxy. Their legacy was not in power or conquest, but in answering a call for help when no one else would. And that was enough to change the universe, one life at a time.